Okay, continuing the VNL playoffs grind here. It is France versus Slovenia, and I'm actually pretty surprised that Slovenia won this. I mean, Slovenia's a great team, but these are the back-to-back gold medalists in the Olympics. And I mean, they have pretty much all their guys except for Ngapeth. And I mean, that you can take that how you want to, but it kind of shows how big of a piece Ngapeth is. And so you see a few things here. You also don't see what's his name, the other, the right side. Shoot, I forgot his name. Anyways, Grebenikov, one of the best liberos in the world. Tony Udi, setter. Brizard setting. Legoff middle. Heno. I wonder if this is the young kid, but we'll find out. If he's the lefty, then it's the UCI kid. Clevino, Luaudi, Fare. He's a right side, I believe. And then just some other guys I'm not sure about. And then for Slovenia, it's Stern. I believe he's a right side. Unless this is that Stern. I don't know. There's two Sterns. And then Milinovic, super athletic kid. Mozic, the man. Mozic is I don't know. I think Mozic is still recovering from kind of an injury, but he's still a beast. So yeah, let's get into it. Far is it Clevino that I'm thinking of? No, Clevino's. Whatever. Don't know. I'm gonna check my phone and look it up because it's actually making me annoyed. Patry. That's what his name is. It's Patry, Jean Patry, I believe. He is their big right side. So they're missing Ngapeth and Patry, which are their two biggest pieces, so to speak, besides Brizard, unless you want to say Brizard's one of the biggest pieces. But good help here by Mozic. And you see Mozic hitting a split step here. Okay? You see him hitting a split step. He has three options in front of him. Main option that he's blocking right here. But then he's able to just get his hands up there, even though that block isn't huge. He's not committing. He's late. But he gets his hands over the tape, presses enough to where it's a block. And that's really all it has to be when you're helping with the middle. Like, you can't really, unless you guys are doing a full cheat where you're taking the middle alone, you can't really be expected to have the biggest, massive approach to that block when you're helping the middle. And that's okay. Like, you could be okay with that. It's not your job. It's not your primary option. You're really just helping out, taking up a little bit extra space. I really like that run, though. One thing, trust your setter. Another thing, trust your middle if you're the setter. So it's just trust right there. That being able to take that or like have that approach there. Ooh, wow, there's a big miscommunication here where Mozic almost jumps, decides not to, and then still goes fast. And with this one, if you're not jumping, you don't want to go this fast. Usually, I mean, most teams would agree with me, but some teams would probably want to go fast. Who knows? But my point is, you want to give those guys a good opportunity to swing. And goodbye Brizard just to stay up there, be ready to swing at all times. Brizard, big old serve. And I really do think that Brizard's one of my favorite setters in the world. I think Micah Christensen's my favorite, but I think Brizard's just one of the most interesting to me. He leaves, but he still recovers and gets back, presses his hands over the tape. And, like, to get blocks, it doesn't always have to be, okay, I'm maxed out on my jump against you every single time. That's not at all where a lot of blocks come from. Some blocks, yeah, some of the cool ones, yeah. But, like, a ton of the time, it's just stuff where you have a half jump. Like right here, this is a full commit. This guy was up early. He doesn't get the block. Okay, it's still just not enough. Sometimes it's just going to happen. But it's more so just about taking up some space, having your hands up there every single time, taking up more space consistently to where every single swing that person's taking, okay, I got my hands up there, I'm taking away something, I'm taking away that bounce ball, so it's not super easy for him to score. And these are good blocks right here. It's a good move. Like, look at how clean this guy's footwork is here. No wasted energy, really. And, like, that's a far space that he has to cover. He's not able to close that block because of just the situation. But, maybe he didn't need to cheat over to where that pass was. And, like, this right here is what I'm talking about. It's just a shuffle move. He's pressing, and he gets hit. Only his elbows are above the tape, pretty much. He gets hit, and it goes straight down because he's pressing. Those are the blocks. Those are the blocks that are a higher percentage thing, really. Because right there, like, that's a huge move. That's a huge block move. Dude's up there, I guess. I mean, he's just got super long arms, maybe. But still, like, he's getting hit. If you get hit, what happens to the ball? That's what I always say. This coffee is so hot right now. I'm gonna let it chill out for a bit. Ooh, sneaks in between. And this is why, like, I'm pretty sure Fare's a pretty young kid. It gave the air to look off there. But, again, like, you see how far he is from the golf there. There's so much space. He's reaching to try and cover it and close it, but that sacrifices two things. First of all, he's still not even able to close it because he's just not close enough. And then because he's reaching over like that, he's not pressed well enough, and when he gets hit, the ball goes through. Like, again, I would still even rather, like, let's say he's definitely not going to get his feet there. I would still rather he presses straight and, like, shapes his hands and arms in a way so that if he does get hit, it's not tooled or not trickled through or anything like that. It's at least a block. Good run. Yeah, I love, like, this is so spaced out with the middle here. Look at how far Le Goff is taking that approach here. And that just forces this middle to cheat over. And then once that middle, he's watching Brizard's body language. Once he sees this Brizard kind of, like, turn his body like that, he's thinking, okay, yeah, it's probably going in the middle. It's a very interesting one. And like, I don't know, I feel like a fast finish, actually, like, with your hands when you're setting, I feel as though it actually might help you and make it easier to deceive people. Because you can do interesting things where you rotate your body and then you can go like this, and it doesn't have, like, the movements that you're making with your body don't have time to mess with your location of the set, if that makes sense. But if that doesn't make sense, then disregard it. Let's just keep watching some ball. Sneaks it through there with Goff. Good take by the libero. I want to see this again. Split step, just gets his hands on the ball, puts it high. I want to see it one more time. Good move, shuffles over, takes it. And, like, I love this. Liberos, if you're able to do this and dime it like this, please do. Please do. It makes my life so much easier. I played with Troy Gooch, if you guys know who that is. I played with Troy Gooch recently in the summer, and it was so easy because he was just covering almost the entire court, and I barely had to pass. It was just so easy. And, like, I don't know, I'm getting better at passing. I'm not a bad passer anymore, so to speak. I mean, I'm still going to be the target, the serving target for most teams, but that's because I'm playing with pros now. But, like, Troy's just such a great passer, and he's able to cover so much space and still dime everything. Grubenikov, man, what an interesting man. Yeah, he plays some pretty wild defense, but he gets some crazy touches. Is that Luauti right there? Yeah, that's Luauti. That's Kleveno. Okay. Kleveno played in Turkey this year with Matt Anderson. That was interesting to watch. They had an interesting team because I think the Stern guy that was playing right side over there, I believe that was the guy that was on their team too. But I'm not sure. That could be a different guy. These guys serving phenomenally, just putting a ton of pressure on them. And, like, when they're in these scenarios where it's just a crazy amount of pressure, it is just difficult to do anything. It's difficult to get a dig. it's difficult to get a kill, and it's easier for you guys to get a dig because you're just like, yeah, he's rolling, he's on a serving run. Come on, this is us. We're feeling it. It's like it's almost a mental game as well. So my point with that is just don't let yourself end your own run. Like, make them earn it. Keep that ball in play. Make them earn a side out if you're going on a run. And even if you're bombing spin serves, still rep it out to a point where you're not missing many serves anymore. Like, you're really consistent. It's a nice spin to float there. And one thing that I'm going to start working on is being able to differentiate between popping that spin to float short and phasing it like Clevino just did. I'm going to turn my brightness up after this play a little bit. Okay, there we go. Let's see what he did here. Yeah, just chopping it there. And I really like this. And like, when you're doing this, you're facing super sharp cross. Sometimes that'll make the blockers dive in. But even if it doesn't, you still just want to make sure you're cutting that ball just about as sharp as you can, because like, your body's going to stop you if you're going cross body like this. Your body's going to stop you at some point, so just try and cut it as sharp as you can so you make sure you either get it by the block or hit the edge of the block and you're not, going into somebody's arm. Like, at least you want to hit the side of their arm, but even possibly chipping it past them, because again, if you getting dug is better than you getting blocked for the most part, unless you're recycling. I don't know. Totally. Look at that move by Grebenikov here. I know he overpassed it slightly, but the fundamentals are still there. Like, he's just holding that angle. It's just a little bit too much. And I think if he didn't bend his elbows right here, see how he bent his elbows and gave it a little extra power, that may have brought it back to the right here a little bit, but it also probably gave it just a little bit extra power and just missed him forward a little bit too much. Yeah, so I think if he just held that angle and didn't allow his elbows to just like do a little curl there, that would have been a pretty good pass, and it might have been around here, but it would have been high on top of Brizard's head, and Brizard can make a lot of decisions from here. So, interesting. I'm a fan of this. It just, like, turning towards them and just doing it. I'm a fan of this because, first of all, it makes it easier to hit this guy's window. It confuses, not fully confuses the middle, but it just kind of adds another piece, like, okay, what's he going to do? What's he going to do now that he's turned this way? And also, like, this might be a hard window to hit right here, so you can kind of understand that. And, if you feel savvy enough, you can do it. But this middle here is pretty much just on a back one. It's pretty much that same set as if it was a back one. I guess you kind of have to get it to the other shoulder on a real back one, but like, pretty much. So, like, those two options are probably the two best options right there. And Luauti just gets caught on his heels and doesn't go for the ball here. It's kind of sad to watch there. Clevino, good pass. And again, same thing like I was just saying. He is jumping. He can make a lot of decisions from here. That block is still very much under stress. And look at this block move by this middle here. Okay, he goes off of one leg just for timing purposes. He wants to be on time for that block. I like that throw by Clevino there, just dunking it right past the block. It just was a really good move, honestly. And this is the athletic kid that I was talking about. He plays in Poland right now, I believe. I think he's probably getting subbed out, though. Yeah, I think he was just a blocking sub, looks like. Way out of system for Slovenia here. Let's see, Rock Mozic. You did not get a touch there. No way. Unless Ligov. No, he did not get a touch there. Not a chance. Sorry if you guys hate the slurping noise that I just made. That's tough. That's a really tough play. Like, that's just kind of sad for France. It's a good touch by this middle here to get his chest on the ball there, but just went to the net into Legoff's opposite shoulder. And like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, let your setters go up and do something. Like, I'd much rather you miss tight, but I don't know. Always put the ball high. Put the ball high as passers. And that's something I got to continue to work on, is just kind of lifting the ball, giving my setter a little extra time to get his hands up there and get at his peak. Yeah, and like, this kind of shows the, like, see how his right shoulder is so far ahead of his left shoulder right there? And then when he swings, he has to, like, push his shoulder in front and then go again. Like, that just, it's very difficult, in my opinion, to do that. And do that smoothly and still open up enough to where you can swing fully. And this swing down the line here is maximum 90% of his power. I don't even think it would get close to that. Obviously, he scores, it trickles through, chips off of him, whatever. But this is why you have to get comfortable as a righty on the right side with just allowing that left shoulder to be forward as you're approaching and stuff and jumping, and having that ball kind of like just on your left. You're seeing it out of your left eye, your left periphery. Really nice dunk there by Legoff. Bam. But again, like, just seeing it out of your left and just letting it get to your shoulder instead of like forcing yourself to look at it the whole time. If you're trying to look at it the whole time face to face like this, it's going to be very, very difficult to actually generate your full torque and full power. Rough, slipped through the hands there. Really nice. And this is a great choice by this outside there, just like going like this, just touching the block, kind of resetting the whole play. Really nice triple block, and Luauti makes a great decision to chip it through and go sharp there. Really nice. And like, this doesn't go over top of the block like a real roll shot, okay? He's putting some pace on it. He's getting at his peak. He's still maxed out. Look at how he's reaching high, and he's got some pace downward with it too. It's not just a pure roll shot, or else, because if he roll shotted this libero would have time. Okay, that libero still almost got this ball. Okay, this is their job. That's what they do. The defense is what they do. But right here, because he just puts some pace on it and just sneaks it through from top, and it's always from the ball, like from the contact point down, it scores. I think that is a very, very important thing to say with like those off-speed things like that. Let's see this one again, because he's out of system. I think he's going for a recycle here, but this is another reason why you want to put some pace on the ball when you try and recycle too. I'm gonna sneeze, but bless you. Oh my God, I just blessed myself. Sorry. No. Anyways, you put some pace on it, because then if this person just has his hands in the wrong way, so to speak, then he gets tooled. It's just kind of unlucky. It's unlucky for that Slovenian guy, but it's good by France there. Really nice. Oh my gosh, what a read by Grbenikov there. And like, once he sees that dude is reaching like this, he just runs in, scoops it high. And Grbenikov already plays that kind of kamikaze type of defense. And like, that's the stuff that just kind of works. But again, great close by this guy. Great closes. He's honestly making really good triple lock moves. Maybe he can press a little bit better by not opening up as early, or maybe just jumping a little bit more vertical, not rolling as much, but still, like, these are decent moves. He's getting himself there and closing pretty well. Klevenau's just attacking his outside hand. He's just attacking his left hand. And, maybe next time he triple blocks, he should, try and dive cross on it a little bit, or like leave a little space and just see if he can get one. But that's a risky business right there. I really love this. And with this type of thing, if you're Cleveno, and obviously he did see this, he sees that pass is forward, he shifts his lane and goes on this lane now. Like, it's that pass recognition needs to be very quick, very clean. There can't be lag issues of, I'm waiting, I'm not sure what's happening. Oh shoot, I'm late. I'm not there anymore. Like, you have to be quick. And that's why I think watching volleyball is so important, is because, it primes your brain. It shows you patterns in the game that, you can. It's almost like playing extra volleyball without putting stress on your body. Like, it's just understanding the different nuances and situations that can happen in a volleyball game, and you're just teaching yourself, okay, this could happen, and then you're ready for it when it does happen, or when something similar happens. Did he just get domed? I think he got domed. But anyways, good move, good pass. And this right here, you have to, if you're protecting your line here on a righty spin serve that's like attacking that line, you have to attack that angle enough to where it's going back to the setter. Like, you have to get that angle early. And look at how he just held that. He holds it, and then he can release it once he's done touching that ball. Perfect dime. Kablam. This is why passing is so important. Okay, look at that. Look at how much stress they're under. This blocker's late. A little bit late, can't even press in time. Like, bro, passing puts so much stress on the block. And especially in the men's game, like, dude, it's going to put a ton of stress on the block. Perfect tempo. Perfect run here, where I honestly think that right side pretty much jumped with the middle. Like, where he started jumping was here, and then he was like, oh shoot, it's actually over here, so he had to continue jumping. But this is partially why they run this 3 so far, is because it just like is so close to what that middle route is, what that go route, the path of the ball, the trajectory of the ball there. And right here, I might go back to it, but look at how he connects early and swings and skips off. Let's see if we can go back to Mozic passing that ball. Let's see when he connects. He might connect decently early too. I'd say he connects right there, but it's still he connects right there. He just swings less. Like, maybe it's not a perfect example of why swinging doesn't work, but like, he connects here right in the middle of his body and then goes. And I'd say Mozic at least connected on his left knee almost, I think the guy just got subbed out for that too. Sheesh. Is that Mozic? Yeah, I think it's Mozic. And let's see the kind of stress that this puts on the block too. Because, he's almost running a little semi-tempo there. And like, you see the middle, he kind of bites on it. He bites. And that obviously gives Luauti just a slight advantage there. Just a slight advantage against that blocker. Because let's say that blocker is usually touching 11 feet on that block. He's probably touching higher. But let's say he's touching 11 feet on that block move. Crazy that dropped. That stinks. Usually touching 11 feet. If he touches 11-8 10-8 instead, or 10-10 even instead, that gives you 2 to 4 inches of room to swing through, swing by, or it changes him. It changes it from hitting here on his hand to hitting here on his fingers, and that's the difference between a kill and a block. So it really putting stress on a block really makes a big difference. It's not so much, it's almost like if I could track the area, I mean, yeah, but then it depends on who you're playing too. Yeah, I don't know. So pretty much what I'm thinking right now is if I could make an AI system that tracks a blocker's average space taken away, or a team's average space taken away by every block move and everything, and then compare that against each opponent and stuff, like see if there's any outliers, like, oh, one setter did really well in this way, whatever, then I wish. But I don't know how to code. ChatGPT does though, so maybe I'll hit ChatGPT up. But let's see what happens here. Tony Udy, run that offense. Oh my gosh. And like this is what I'm talking about. This is a perfect example because this is a huge blocker right there. That middle is huge, but it changes it from him hitting his hands, just Tony Udy like hitting there on the hands instead of hitting his palms and getting blocked. Like that's just a huge difference. Looks like that ball was out. Off the hands again. And like that swing off the hands down the line is truly spectacular. I love it. Bang. Kablamo. Let's see. I want to see that block move by Mozic one more time. Because Mozic does this split step a lot, and then he just does that move right there where he just kind of does a double step into a jump. And I mean, it keeps him very vertical, so I don't really have a problem with it. But I wonder if he would have been able to get his feet to the ball better if he swung block, because then like right now when he's trying to reach for the ball, he's just kind of on the side. And that same type of principle of whether it hits here on the hands or here on the hands, that could have meant him getting over top of that ball and, blocking him. But who knows? Maybe the dude would have swung somewhere else if he was different. So you never know. It's just amount of space that you can take up, Out of bounds. Yeah, this kid. Look at that. That's the kid I'm talking about. That's the kid that plays in Poland on a blue team, I believe. He's a beast. Super athletic kid. I like that serve, too. And, like, let's go back to this serve real quick. Whose freaking seam is this? Because that is, at the end of it, at the end of this ball's route, let's say from here to here, that is just about straight on right here. Like, straight on in the seam. So it's like, okay, the ball's not cutting to anyone anymore. At first it's going towards Cleveno, but then at the end of it, it's just going perfectly in between Luaudi and Cleveno. And that's just why I love those serves so much. Bam. I might move my serve that way a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. Huge. This kid's huge. He's an athlete. I like that kid, man. I wonder how young he is. Probably like 22, 23. That's what I'd guess. Big serve attempt by Mozic there. Ooh, and then he gets blocked. And like, this is what I'm talking about. Look how vertical Luaudi is. He doesn't have to reach outside his body. And I'm not saying you never should reach outside your body. I'm just saying like a necessity type thing. Because that block right there, Luaudi's able to get that right on his wrist and just hood that ball instead of having it go on his fingertips. Because these guys are swinging high, dude. Great grab by Barbazard here. And on a ball like this, where it is definitely going over the net, Brazard has to just get up quick, get that ball quick before that middle can touch it. Because once it's in the plane, it's free game. And Brazard just got to it quicker than this middle. And then it allows that sweet play to happen. So like on tight balls, it's not solely important to be high, but it's also important to be quick. with height. Like, you want to get to that ball as quick as you can. So I feel like volleyball players should all just jump rope decently, like for defense, for serve receive, for jumping, obviously, for quick plays like that, for blocking, like all of it. Like, I think jump rope is very key thing. But I think there might be some knee problems with jumping rope, so I don't really know. Gosh. And this makes me think about this pass right here. It makes me think about how the French people go about passing floats with their platform, because they're just so free with it. They're so loose with it, and being loose with it and being like you're allowing your body to go everywhere. It allows you to make last minute adjustments. Like me being loose enough and free enough and relaxed enough to say, okay, I'm going to go like this with my arms. Like, if that ball tells you to do that, then do it. Like, it just kind of, it gives you the freedom to make a last minute adjustment instead of just sitting there and letting the ball move on you. Because sometimes when I'm working on, I love this route, by the way. Great turn, too. Great turn by this guy. Because, like, he's over here at this point. Being able to see that this guy's diving as far as possible over here and then cutting it over on that side of that middle, phenomenal swing. Maybe he meant to do that because he saw the block. Maybe he just did it because that's where the ball was. I don't care. It's a great swing. But anyways, I've gotten caught in the past when I'm working on passing floats with my platform. I've been caught kind of just being so stiff, like making my platform so stiff. And then my only axis, I guess you could say, of adjustment is here to here. That's my only axis, is turning my body like this. But if I'm loose enough and free enough to either jump backwards like this on a last minute adjustment, like I'm balanced and loose enough to do this, like where okay, the ball actually is higher, so I jump a little bit and I jump backwards a little bit, dimed. You want to give yourself every single way to adjust as possible. Like, let's say we're engineers and we're making a robot that is going to pass float serves, okay? And keep in mind, these float serves float up, down, left, right, forward, backward. They're moving in 3D, okay? We're going to have to give that robot as many ways to move and adjust as possible. Like, we're going to make the robot be able to rotate like this. We're going to make the robot be able to rotate like this, up, down. Like, we want them to be loose and free. You're not going to be able to say, okay, I'm only going to move my arms this way. Like, you need to be able to move 360 degrees in every single direction. Hopefully that made sense. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it does. I don't care. I'm just yapping. Okay. And honestly, for the most part, me doing these videos, I hope it helps you guys, but I know for a fact it helps me. It helps me see the game better. It helps me think things through. And it's honestly helping me become a better volleyball player. Like, I was watching film already, but actually having to articulate my thoughts it almost doesn't allow me just to kind of like fall asleep and watch, What a route. Good spacing. You see Mozic, he's kind of like checking that for a second, and then he only has these 3 steps of an approach. But look at how patient he is. He's waiting, and then he goes. Bang. And then he just blasts this over here. And if you're a middle blocking a Bic, go with the momentum that their approach is. Okay, like even on this one right here, his momentum of his approach is all bringing him cross. Look where he swings. He swung from this point to this point. His approach was going from here to here. His swing went here to here. Just saying, there's a huge, huge correlation. People bring their arm swing out of where they are approaching all the time, okay? But, oh, my back. But it just kind of like, it almost takes away their best option. And you don't need to do that every single time, but that'll help you. You know, like right here, this one's different. His approach is from here to here. It's like straight on almost. And then he has to turn his body over there and swing that way. But yeah, it's definitely touched. But it kind of just gives you a better chance of, I guess, taking away the big swing of theirs. You know? Goodness gracious. See a ball. That one's gonzo. Great pass by Mozic again. And, like, I really love how Mozic, I don't know how old Mozic is. I'm really not sure. But as a player, I think he's developed tremendously in the past few years. Because, like, a few years ago, I don't think he's passing balls like this. I really don't. I think he's becoming one of the best players in the world because he's, like, his injury almost made him be like, okay, I might not have my athleticism that can just beat everybody forever. I need to just make sure I'm clean, and I'm diming balls, and I'm ready to either be an 0-2 for my team or ready to be the big athletic guy for my team. Like, he's becoming a very well-rounded player. And that's not to say that he couldn't pass in the past. I'm just saying I think he's just becoming more well-rounded, in my opinion. And Verona's going to be a fun team to watch this year, man. Very fun team to watch. Yeah. I mean, you see I would bet that most like if we just purely looked at angle approach, interesting little kill there. But like real quick, he throws this into the side of his arm, okay? Throws it into the elbow. Aim for some elbows. Because my elbow's on the outside of my arm here, like, when I'm blocking. So, like, yeah, aim for elbows, man. But anyways, if we solely looked at angles of approach on Bix, and we're like, okay, let's say if it's pretty straight on or drifting like this, like that, or going that way, if we looked at it and we looked at like percentages of whatever, like how accurate someone is or how good someone is, I would bet that it's that same type of principle with like the pin approaching on the pins. Like I think it's the same exact thing. But I don't know. If I was smart enough, and if I had the facilities to do like sports science stuff, that'd be so much fun, bro. That'd be so much fun. Like applicable sports science stuff, where I'm just a coach and I'm like, hey, physics people, help me out with this and like map this on these 3 planes or these 3 measurements or whatever. Like, oh, that'd be so fun. My team would be gross, bro. You know what? If I ever get to work with Team USA in any sense, which I really hope I do, I am going to push for studies on studies on studies with, you know, like that one study that they did with like passing, you know, like how important is passing and like zones for passing and whatever. And they realized that the setter moving backwards lowers the hitting percentage and, you know, going forward isn't as bad, whatever. I would absolutely love to just look at a few other things too. Gosh, I would love to do that. Just mapping some stuff out, you know? And like, I'm not smart enough to do that. I'm gonna be completely honest, I really am not. I don't think I'm smart enough to do that. But man, would it be fun to just see those results. I'm smart enough to understand the results, I think. But someone might have to make it into a diagram for me, make it real easy to understand. I don't know. But, yeah. But again, like, this is a tough swing for him because he's just got to move his body like this, go like this, and just kind of swing to that 5 by, like, going thumb down a lot. And, like, it's pretty obvious to me that he loses a good amount of power by doing so. And if he just turns himself a little bit more, he's not going to lose any power there. So, I don't know. Kablam. Let's see that triple block. But again, I like this triple block more than the other one that we were looking at earlier. Because, like, I'd say that they leave the same amount of space. But if this guy gets hit anywhere in this range, then he's chilling. If it hits the outside of the hands here, yeah, it's still going through. Like, there's still a gap. But he's at least pressed. So we're in this 4th set here. Ooh, off the head. Going outside, good. Good by Grubenikov to not freak out there. Obviously, he understands the game really well, and it's just like no lag issues. Once he, like, if you're, let's see. Most people understand this. If you're playing a video game, let's say 2 people are playing a video game. One person has amazing Wi-Fi, the other person has awful Wi-Fi. It's going to be really hard for that person to win if they have that terrible Wi-Fi that just, like, is, you know, behind, just, like, it takes way longer to load things and, like, it's just choppy footage. People that understand the game really well, their brains are just, like, clicking easier. They get what's happening. They understand the flow of every single play better. They're going to be able to make decisions faster. They're going to be able to make better decisions and stuff like that. So, like, watch volleyball, dude. It's so important. Big old foot fault there. Stern. Good pass. And, like, I don't know. There's definitely a difference between passing spins and floats because you almost want to be more strict when you're passing spins because that ball's just traveling way more and you don't have to, like, add much energy to it. A lot of the time you have to actually take energy away. So it's like it's such an interesting contrast. Such an interesting contrast between passing spins and floats to me. Big serves, they're passing 4. Let's see. On a system, whoa, what just happened there? Look off, what you doing, big dog? It's a good press right there. It's interesting. Split step move. Klebanov on the trail. And I like how he presses that left hand initially and then finishes that right hand later. And that's a really good, you know, shown example of shaping the ball and trying to bring it back to the middle of the court. It hits his thumb real hard. He trips on somebody. Stuff happens. Oh, man. And, you know, like, this, if there was a middle up there, this could be such a clean route. But also, he got blocked by the setter, actually, so I don't know. But, I mean, he swung down to the 6. If you have even a solo, you shouldn't swing to the 6. But if you have a double block up there, even if it's not the most physical double block, you shouldn't be swinging to the 6 like that. You know, like, good for Slovenia. I do feel like this is Slovenia's A team, like their best squad right here. But still, like, good for them. They're balling. This is an interesting one. Big boy just reaches high here. Look at that contact point. He's contacting that ball really high. Look at how he's reaching. Okay, is that the Jordan logo? And he just sneaks it through. And again, like, it's so important to make sure you're reaching as high as you can because it just gives you more court that's available to you. And yeah, it's gonna hedge your bets real well. Let's look at that block move. Yeah, it's a really nice one. Look at that heavy split step here. I mean, and it's a pretty heavy split step because he's a pretty heavy dude. You know, like, if you're light, you can be super light on your toes and just be real put a bunch of stress on your Achilles instead. But this guy, he has to put a ton of force into it to move this big mass, you know? So, like, he's got to push off, big move, presses all the way up, finishes really well when he gets to the top, and right before when he gets hit by that ball. Really nice. Those are my feet slapping right there. I should put socks on. Gross. Go off. And hey, this is kind of that same principle where Le Goff is like opening himself up to the setter a little bit too much. Okay, let me clarify some things right now. So you see Luaudi over here approaching. He kind of, as he would be jumping, he's got his shoulders kind of opening to the setter a little bit, mostly open to this deep corner almost, but his left foot is really far forward. He's ready to jump like that, okay? Let's go over to the right side, and let's go over to Le Goff. Let's compare the shoulders almost. He's just turned, Le Goff has just turned a little bit, and look at how close, like his left foot is barely in front of that right foot. And it doesn't allow him to open up that ball. It doesn't allow his shoulders to open up. He has very little momentum and space. Like, he doesn't create much space, so he doesn't have much momentum to close his body through. And then he spatches it because I feel like it's mostly just arm swing, and he just wasn't able to get enough on that ball, like enough of his hand on that ball. And so that same type of thing, let's go back to it because I want to make sure you guys can understand. He should be okay with, as he's jumping, losing a little bit of sight on that ball to make sure he's jumping like this with his right shoulder back. And then as he starts to swing, he can start bringing that shoulder around. He's going to see the ball better, finish it wherever he wants. But he needs to just create space with his shoulders and stuff. You know? I don't know. And that's me being picky. Le Goff is one of the best middles in the world. But you see, wow, he actually does this consistently, doesn't he? And I mean, maybe middles just need to do this less. But, I mean, if he's quick enough, maybe it doesn't matter. I don't know. He can get away with it a lot because he's huge. He's a huge, huge man. He's super athletic. He probably creates a ton of force with only his arm. Like, he creates a ton of force with his arm because he's got a huge arm. He could have blocked this. He could have blocked it. Just cover the ball. Go reach for the ball and cover it. If you're scared of getting tooled, cover the ball better, have stronger hands. Ooh, where'd that go? Where did that go? I got a fart, man. I got a fart. Let's get this game over with. I think that snuck through. Spin to float by the boy Tony Udy. That's his signature. I don't know if he really breaks it off into a spin much, does he? Covers this. And again, the same type of thing. He covers it, gets on top of it, like gets over it, covers all the options. Let's see. Whoa, that's a weird one. Honestly, good for that middle to react like that, honestly. Tony U runs the offense over top. Wow, good job. Good block there. And even like I said earlier, take the approach angle away. I still stand by that. He's still approaching here. And like if you just purely on that same approach angle, gosh, my freaking legs are sticking to this chair here. I have like a beach chair, if you guys can tell. Whatever, anyways. If you purely, with this same approach angle, if you purely tested how hard of a swing it would be if he was swinging to this corner versus this corner, he would swing much harder and faster to this corner than he would this corner because he's able to use his entire body instead of just his shoulder right there, okay? Unless he's got a perfect arm swing and he figures it out, but anyways, that's why I would say take this away because it's just slightly easier for the defense to do it. But if you see it, go for it, sure. If you see it, go for it. Like he sees this. He sees Kleveno opened up like that and start to just like, bring his body like this. If you see someone's body like go like this, they're usually going there, because going like this and then going like that, that's not normal. And he presses super early and just covers it. It's a really nice block, honestly. Really, really nice block there. Mozic drops it a little bit short there. I think that's out of bounds. Good for Luau to get on that route, but he just spatched that ball a little bit there. Hand contact is important, and it always will be. My stomach hurts. Drink the rest of the coffee. How about that? Oh, oops. Well, there's that. Anyways. Yeah, and like even when you're recycling like this, like he's not going for a bounce, obviously. Like, he's hoping maybe he can get a kill here, but the highest percentage result with this would be a reuse, a recycle. But because he puts enough pace in there, it increases the odds of him getting a tool kill off of that just set into the block, Gosh, I gotta pee. We're almost done with this game. I'll finish this out. I'm not a baby. I can handle my own bowels and bladder, okay? If you're still watching this, I'm so sorry. I don't know what's happening. Coffee makes me weird. Coffee makes me say some weird things. I want to see that. And if Kleveno was a little bit more adjoined, is that a word? If he was more symmetrical, well, not symmetrical, he's definitely symmetrical. If he was closer with his arms, that's all I'm trying to say. I don't know why I'm trying to get fancy with it. If he was closer with his arms here, he wouldn't have gotten field gold. But again, like I've said this, it might have been last video, whatever. To create physicality on your block, you don't need to jump like this and have your arms super wide. You can jump and have your arms together. And he finished together, but when he finished, it was already past him. So finish early, finish hard on the block, purely on the block. Yo, Mozic. Hey, yo. Sus. Bang. What a dig. Who dug that? Good move. Heno. Is that Haley or Heno? Or is that somebody else? I think it's the other Heno kid. Really good read there. And look at, like, he was just relaxed there. He wasn't moving. He just, moved. He reacted. I think that might have missed. Honestly, that might have hit the pinky. Couldn't tell. I think that hit the pinky. Yeah, that hit the pinky. That's a crazy swing. And that's in for sure. Let's watch that again. Yeah, that's in, right? Oh, that was out. Gosh, I can't. I'm blind, I guess. I don't know. Heno. I think Heno is the kid that plays on Chalmont in the French league with Jacob Pasture. Brizard putting a little bit of pressure on them by jumping and stuff. And again, I've said this a few times now. Always be ready just to jump and swing. At any point in time, be ready to jump and swing. And if you're jumping and swinging and putting a roll shot over, don't do it. That's stupid. On two, at least. But, like, if you're doing that where you're swinging hard to a corner, your coach should never get mad at you if you get the kill. Like, that's a smart choice. That's a good choice. I like that a lot. All right, let's see what happens here. A little paste. Oh, wow. What the heck? But again, this is the same type of thing. The middle's just ready to jump and swing. And I don't think it hit the block. Yeah, I don't think it hit the block there. It did not. But I'd rather have that than putting a free ball over, honestly. Good swing. Really nice swing. He left a lot of line there. Yeah, left a lot of line. Just way too much line available there. Let's see. Pushes it out there. Let's see. They're one option right now. One option and it sneaks through. Again, press early because he's up high, and then he presses after it's already way past him. it's too late. Finish hard, finish early. Okay. Let's see, floater down the line. Again, like, if he's loose enough to just move his body out of the way, it's almost like I don't know, but like, he wants to be able to just like be free enough to adjust, move his body in some way, shape, or form. And you want to give yourself the balance to continue to adjust constantly. And so I've said this before in a few different ways, where I think I've said before when I was watching the Japanese league, I think I was saying how Yamamoto is like one of his greatest strengths is his ability to just like stay balanced and stay on his toes, on his feet. And like it just gives him the ability to continue to adjust. Let's see this last. I think these are 2 missed serves to finish the game here. And that's men's volleyball, man. But hey, wow, big win for Slovenia. Let's see who they play next. Thanks for watching, guys.